Hey there, nerds. A little drive time movie review. So I got to see a preview screening of The Martian. And let me preface this with saying I'm not the biggest Ridley Scott fan. I know that's sacrilege. I think Alien is one of the greatest movies ever made. If it's on, I'll watch it over and over again. I love Black Rain with Michael Douglas and Andy Garcia. I think that's a great flick. Thelma and Louise is a classic. I really think White Squall is a great flick. I don't like watching it a lot because there's some moments in there that are really tough, but I enjoy it. I love Gladiator. I'm not sure it deserved to win the Academy Award, but I love Gladiator. And I thoroughly enjoy Black Hawk Down. Other than that, not the greatest fan because I think some of his other movies are not good, but some people seem to like him a lot. I wasn't a big fan of Hannibal. Blade Runner is good, yes, but it's not a movie I'm going to watch over and over again, so in that, I don't think it's the greatest movie of all time. Some people disagree with me. And I really hated Prometheus. Hated Prometheus. Yes, I know, troll away, have at me, I get it. I hated it. It was an awful movie. Awful. So, and there are movies in there that I have not seen. Exodus is one of them. Robin Hood I haven't seen, so I can't speak to those. So I'm sort of middle of the road Ridley Scott, whereas a lot of people put him up on a huge pedestal and they worship him. That being said, going into The Martian, I really didn't have many preconceptions on what it was going to be. I didn't have high hopes. Matt Damon to me is a fine actor, but sometimes his movies I'm like, whatever. So I really didn't have high hopes, and to be honest, I thought it was going to be stuck on a planet. We're going to have a lot of slow moments. Okay, let's do this. Wow, I was way off. It was a fantastic movie. Definitely one of Ridley Scott's best. His best by far since Black Hawk Down, in my opinion. Really enjoyed the flick. Matt Damon does a superb job of being on his own and acting by himself, and we utilize a camera situation where he's talking into a camera constantly to record a journal. It's not weird or forced. It seems very natural when he does it, and he does a superb job with it, and it really gets the humor while also getting the severity of his situation. I thought he did a fantastic job. Drew Goddard wrote the script based on a book by Andy Weir. I have not read the book, so I can't speak to that, but the script itself was fantastic. Drew Goddard, known for Lost, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Alias, most recently Daredevil, but he did Cloverfield as well. Just kudos to him for writing a fantastic script. Thought it turned out really well. Typical to Ridley Scott, just fantastic cinematography, scenery, just beautiful landscapes. I will say that no matter what the movie is, including Prometheus, it's just beautifully shot. Always well done with that. The cast was fantastic. The crew that was with Matt Damon that was forced to leave him behind. We have Jessica Chastain, which I see the irony that they were both at Interstellar. They didn't have any scenes together, but they were both in Interstellar, which I thought was funny. We have Michael Peña, who does a fantastic job, and he's more of a straight man in this versus like his role in Ant-Man. Very serious role, but he also brings the humor as a nice repertoire back and forth with Matt Damon's character. So I thought that was fantastic. Kate Mara did a fantastic job. Sebastian Stan is also with the crew. Just a fantastic crew of actors right there alone. And then we go back to like NASA, where we have the head of NASA in the movie is played by Jeff Daniels, who just did a fantastic job. I was thoroughly impressed. One of my favorite things was that as a juxtaposition sort of with what he did in the newsroom, he has that opening speech where it's sort of, America's not the greatest anymore. And he finished it with, but we sure used to be. And I feel like that kind of speaks to this movie in that we sure used to be. We used to make promises that we're going to send a man to the moon, and within 9 years, we do that. Holy cow. We had no technology to do it, and then by the end of the decade, we did. That we were able to have Apollo 13, all these catastrophes happen, and we're able to bring them back. That's the determination and the genius, the ingenuity we had. And I love the movie because it captures that sort of, there's one guy stranded on Mars. So easy to just be like, write him off, dead, done. But no, they basically pull definitely the country together, but the planet together at one point to bring this astronaut home and the ingenuity it takes to get him. I just thought that was great. And then we have, and I'm sorry, I'm going to totally butcher his name. I really apologize for that. He's sort of the head of this space mission, Chiwetel Ejiofor. I know I butchered it. I'm sorry. I know him from Love Actually. I thought he had a great little role in that, but obviously he was in 12 Years a Slave. Just did a fantastic job sort of harnessing everybody's emotions, because he's the go-between between NASA but also the actual astronauts themselves and that trying to bring them home. But then even more so, but it's more on the side of the astronauts, we have Sean Bean, who I'm always a fan of seeing. He can be in any movie. I love this dude. He's fantastic. And he didn't die. Spoiler alert. Sean Bean did not die. Loved it. Great. And they even have a great reference where they're having this secret meeting to decide whether they're going to bring him back or not. And it's called Elrond. And it's the council where they have the meeting of the Lord of the Rings and the Fellowship of the Ring. And it's just a great reference, and the humor in that bit is fantastic. And Jeff Daniels is just a fantastic actor, because he has some one-lines in there that you're just like, but he doesn't break it. He doesn't break character. He's still dead serious, but it's just great, fantastic. Kristen Wiig as the press secretary for NASA, just fantastic, very serious just about the whole time. Donald Glover, fantastic, is sort of this super genius out in left field guy who comes up with like an astrophysicist. I don't remember exactly his title, but just comes up with some great ideas, some plans. The whole cast was just fantastic, which is interesting because I thought going in we were going to have a lot of sort of Tom Hanks in Castaway, where it's amazingly Tom Hanks and nobody else on screen. Not the case. We have a great ensemble cast, great acting all around, great directing. I can't speak enough about this film. My only drawback was there was a couple times, actually I have two. There were a couple times, especially in the beginning, I don't know what they were doing with the music, but the music would go and then they would do a little hook, like they were trying to make it suspenseful, but there was zero suspense on screen. There was no reason to have that extra drama, and it wasn't this bad, but it was almost like inserting the horror film at the wrong time, and I didn't understand why that was there. Other than that, the other thing that I would comment on is the 3D. I have noticed in watching 3D movies, there seems to be two styles, and I haven't deciphered which is which or why there's a difference. One that actually bring the images out to you 3D, and then 3D that actually sinks the images back, like a diorama from like elementary school where you get the shoebox and you build a scene in it. I don't know why the difference. I just know that watching this one, it seems that they did that. They, instead of coming the action towards you, they pulled the action back and made it layered 3D in that respect. I'm not the biggest fan of 3D if it's used properly, like in Tron Legacy or even Avatar. Fantastic. I don't think this movie needed it. I thought it looked beautiful. It would have looked beautiful in 2D just because Ridley Scott has a knack for cinematography and landscape like that. But it is what it is. It was 3D. It wasn't awful in 3D. It was fine. It's just I wouldn't necessarily pay extra to see it in 3D. Other than those two things, I thought the movie was fantastic. Loved it. I thought the whole story was great. I'm actually going to go read the book now because I'm very curious. They always say the book's better than the movie. Well, I thought the movie was great. Let's see what the book has. Go check it out. 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. The Martian by Ridley Scott. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below.